over the past couple of years, Webtoon has gone through some changes. And while it's true that there are a lot of new webtoons coming out these days, it's still good to see older webtoons like Lookism and Windbreaker hold strong for over a decade. As far as I know, Webtoon has primarily gone through 3 major periods: classics, romance, and well, whatever this is right now that we're going through. I can't really tell, but yeah. Of course, I only started reading webtoons back in 2018, so it's hard to say for sure, but primarily a lot of big name webtoons did come out either in 2014 or even earlier. Also Lookism. Dang, PTJ is really good at writing, but yeah, I digress. The many fan favorites such as TOG, or Lookism, and Windbreaker, as I mentioned previously, were first published on Webtoon, making a name for themselves, and even later with some receiving anime adaptations in the present day, such as Solo Leveling, which is technically a manhwa, but hey, who's counting? Of course, there are others, including the upcoming Omniscient Readers anime, which I am so excited for, and also this. I don't really know what this is, and if I'm gonna be honest, I'm not too sure I want to, but hey, you know, don't judge a book by its cover. I'm still not watching it though. Regardless, in recent times, Webtoon has been pumping out series about as often as One Piece pumps out bangers, only difference being some of the Webtoons are, what is boyfriends? No, I'm just kidding. I've seen way worse, or like a lot worse. However, in recent years, I've also begun to notice a trend of webtoons dubbed regression manhwa. And it is just everywhere. And these are just the ones that I've read, but in case you don't know what regression is, it's quite similar to isekai in Japanese anime and supposedly cultivation in Chinese anime. Huh, did not need that in my life. Well, good to know. Regardless, most regressions typically possess a main character that goes back in time, usually after falling at the hands of a final boss like villain. Only this time, they possess knowledge on the future and occasionally get a power boost. But yeah, in recent years, it is taking the webtoon sphere by storm, with some of the most iconic ones being Omniscient Reader, which is about as much of a regression as SAO is an isekai. So not really. And while there is a regressor in ORV, he doesn't really do much, you know, regressing. Still, much like SAO, Omniscient Reader has played an integral part in helping regression reach its place today, placing it right on the podium next to Solo Leveling and True Beauty. Nah, I'm just kidding. Man, really brings me back to good old days during pre-COVID when regression wasn't a thing and we were instead in the era of romance webtoons. Though it's true I do talk as though it is a time gone by, it is still incredibly prevalent today, as you can see from my webtoon stats. Not to flex or anything, but I am in fact in the top 1% of daily pass readers. Yeah, that one's going back in the bin. And yeah, my most read genre was romance, by far. Not because I love it so much, but because there's nothing else to read. But hey, not to say there aren't good ones, just saying that I've seen better. Oh man, wait till I find out you can combine regression with romance, which they already did several times. But yeah, to name one of my absolute all-time favorites, it would definitely have to be Seasons of Blossom. Not that one, this one. And yes, my friends do make fun of me for this. The story follows Bomi-yoon, one of the most popular girls at school, and how she falls in love with, not him, Jin-young, the short, weak, honestly kind of pathetic and quiet gamer boy, which is definitely important to the story. And then it's followed by 3 seasons of suffering, depression, and suicide. That's not a joke, again. But you know, even disregarding the heavy topics of the other 3 seasons, there was some kind of innocence and beauty in the first season. Seeing the interactions between Bomi and Jinyoung were just... I miss you guys so much. But yeah, definitely a banger webtoon. But yeah, you could argue it was a downhill roller coaster after season 1. Regardless, still a banger, definitely worth checking out. But of course, that's not quite a classic from its generation, unlike True Beauty, Lore Olympus, and wow, I can't believe it's been 6 years. And of course, the all-time classic I Love You, spelled with an O. Also, its release schedule has been through just about as much as the characters in the story. Okay, that's definitely not true. Bit of an exaggeration, but hey, let's move on. There's also other classics such as Let's Play, but we all know what happened to that webtoon. Just kidding. Also Lee, who is just an overall extraordinary writer, who's already cooked up 2 whole bangers in a row and hopefully more to come. But yeah, definitely still praying for our eyesight. Wow, I just realized a lot of these romances get drama adaptations. For good reason too. However, that's not to say all romance are good. And while I don't like to bash on other people's hard work, I've seen some questionable ones. Let's get back to regression. So, how did it start? Yeah, honestly, no idea. I mean, kind of just appeared out of the blue one day and never quite left. Just like isekais. Though there are several factors that you can attribute to its initial boom, such as bangers like ORV and people at Webtoon who keep releasing them as originals. But yeah, also people like me who are single-handedly keeping the regression industry alive by reading 30 different regression webtoons every week. And okay, fine, I'm kind of kidding, but that last part wasn't a joke. And yeah, here's a quick list of all the regression webtoons that I've read. That I remember. There's probably a lot more that I just forgot about. Also, just the fact that they keep adapting these mediocre novels. Well, like, who took a look at... yes. Dad is a hero, mom is a spirit, I'm a reincarnator. Let me guess, your little sister is an isekai protagonist. Wait, that actually sounds kind of good. Then they said, yeah, that'd make a great webtoon. They are 100% right. 10 out of 10 would read that actually, that sounds pretty good. But yeah, kind of weird how they just appeared out of nowhere and have now become a staple part of my everyday life. And now we're stuck in a never-ending loop because I can't stop reading them and they can't stop feeding me this garbage. There's also studios such as Red Eye Studio, prominent for their works on solo leveling on Missing Reader. And can you blame them? It's almost like I have an addiction to them. I mean, obviously I don't, but you know, you never know. Of course, I say that having read a solid 17 or so of their works, probably a bit more. Oh, it's a lot less than I thought. I guess I better catch up. And while it's true, it doesn't sound like a whole lot. Some of them have hundreds of chapters, and that's only from a single studio. Okay, but that's not the end of it. In fact, this is only the start. The State of Webtoon can't just be summarized in a few short sentences or an 8-minute long video essay. Oh my goodness, I hope this is 8 minutes. After all, there is a vast catalog of webtoons, and I'm almost certain there's a webtoon out there for just about anyone and everyone. But the right ones aren't being pushed out. A while back, I read a webtoon about squares and their mental health, which received like 24 likes. And yet it still has more creativity than that other time I died and got sent back in time with super cool OP hacks powers, and then I became the Pirate King. And the worst part is Webtoon knows that there are good webtoons out there, only they still choose to push out this well, I was gonna say slop, but I still eat it up. Regardless, they choose to do so because they know that this will do well. Well, I mean, some of them will. And these regression and romance have stood the test of time and have shown to be popular time and time again. Man, okay, to be fair, some of the art is really good. And if you look past more intricate details, you can really enjoy some of them. Occasionally, you'll scroll deep enough down the webtoon page that you get recommended something called Staff Pigs. And this is where I found one of my new all-time favorites, an absolute gem. Like, right now, just drop everything and read this little webtoon. It has like 8 chapters, and it's called PP and Poo Poo. Yes, really. I don't know why it's called that. They kind of mention it once in like episode 2 and just never bring it up again. I know it sounds dumb, but you really have to trust me on this one. This is a game changer. No, it's not. It may not be a game changer, but it is so damn good. So, what is PP and Poo Poo about? I can't believe I just said that. And what makes it so darn good? It follows the story of two siblings who recently gained superpowers from a talking cat. Yeah, never seen that before. And now they go around fighting monsters and protecting the streets of China, I think? Even though it's a pretty slapstick comedy, it's actually quite funny and there's some real depth to their characters as they actually learn from their mistakes and become better people while still retaining their core characters. I mean, as you should. And that's just the first 2 episodes. It's still a canvas right now, but hopefully it might get picked up sometime. So at the current moment, it's not looking too good. Oh, also, the art is really good. Like, really good. It's incredibly clean and vibrant, and somehow they make poop look delicious, which is simultaneously concerning and a little disgusting, but also it's just really pleasing to look at, like straight visual candy. And there's a lot more that I have to say about this webtoon, as well as others, but you know, this video is getting too long and I need to go sleep. So what's the lesson to be gleaned from all this? You just go watch Solo Leveling Unit.